Hey, 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 Prosperity Partners. It is finally here. Biden has announced his student loan forgiveness program, and it has been a long time coming. If you are part of the free email community, we have been talking about this like literally since Biden got in office. So I cannot wait to break this down and make sense of some things. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Netiva, the Frugal CrediTnista, financial educator and owner of abomb.com financial education services firm, where we teach our students how to master their money, destroy their debts, and soar their credit scores so that they can begin leveraging their finances to create wealth. If you like what I'm dropping down, definitely hit that link and subscribe, follow, and share. And let's get to it. So first, I want to start off with what Biden originally promised, because he actually has kept quite a few of the things that he promised in regards to student loan reform and forgiveness. So number one, he has always wanted to forgive $10,000 for those who made under 125K. Okay. Even though Bernie and Warren wanted him, not Warren, wanted him to go up to 50K, which I would have loved. Okay. He has always stated 10K, 10K, 10K. Okay. Number two, he always wanted to reform public service loan forgiveness program. He's made it the process a lot easier than it was in past administrations. So kudos to him for that. So a lot of my partners are actually getting their forgiveness done right now under that program. So it's actually really, really been beneficial. Number three, he wanted to restore the provisions under the borrower defense program. That's the forgiveness that was given to folks who went to colleges that misled them or that were deemed predatory in how they explained or took out student loans and all of that good stuff. So now they were put on the path to forgiveness. He kept that promise. What we're still waiting on is increasing the Pell Grant. He's already announced multiple times that he wants to double that, and a lot of Democrats, some Republicans are in support of that as well. He also wants to make all public colleges free, which will be incredible. Now, if you live in a state where if you do community service is free and then you upgrade to a university, or some universities that have relationships with high schools, with specific high schools, then their education is free. Those are already great programs. But imagine if students are able to graduate and automatically know that the public college, community service, public university, etc., is going to provide a free education for them. That would be incredible. I don't know if it's going to pass, but it will be pretty dope. Another thing that we are still waiting on is more funding for HBCUs and to restore bankruptcy discharge for student loans. So not federal, but if you have ever tried to discharge your student loans in bankruptcy, your private student loans, you will find out that it is not very easy to do. Now, I wasn't shocked that you weren't able to discharge IRS debt and federal student loans, but when students back in the day used to tell me that they were having a hard time discharging their private student loans, I was shocked. Okay. Number one, Biden in previous voting habits was one of the people who was in favor of limiting our ability to be able to discharge our student loans. But it's like, since the Obama era has happened, he's kind of changed his little tune. I am here for it. Another thing that he mentioned was that he wanted to create new income-driven repayment plan options. And one of the things that he did pass was where only 5% of a borrower's discretionary income would be needed to repay their student loans under the income-based repayment plan. It used to be 10%. There was one more thing that he wanted to do, was that if you earned less than $25,000, then you would pay nothing towards your loan, or in interest. No interest would accrue. So no interest would accrue. You would pay no monthly repayment fee or anything like that. So you wouldn't be paying on your student loans at all if you owned under $25,000. That hasn't passed. So it looks like under the new income-driven repayment plan, one part did pass, meaning your payments are going to be lower as long as because they're factoring in 5%. You know if that makes sense. That was a mouthful. So it looks like some of this has passed. So he did the forgiveness of the 10K, 20K if you have the Pell Grant. He reformed a lot of the public service loan forgiveness. He restored the defense to repayment. He's looking, this hasn't passed yet, to increase the Pell Grant. He has made provisions by cutting in half the discretionary income that's considered when on the income-based repayment plan. We still want him to make it possible for us to discharge private student loans in bankruptcy. And this is something that I didn't even consider. I actually heard about it from one of my partners, and she asked if they would be eliminating taxes on any student loans that were forgiven. You know, that didn't even cross my mind. I figured that if they were going to forgive the loans, then they wouldn't charge us taxes on it. But apparently that has always been the case. If the loan is forgiven for student loans or anything else, of course I knew about anything else, then you would pay taxes on it. It's considered income earned because it was forgiven, which sucks. So that is a provision that he's looking to nix and get away with as well. So what actually passed? Number one, anybody who makes less than $125,000 a year, you will get $10,000 forgiven. If you earn less than $125,000 a year and you receive the Pell Grant, then you will receive up to $20,000 worth of forgiveness. If anybody's loan out there is less than $10,000 or less than that $20,000 and you qualify, you will not get all of the $10,000. You will not get all of the $20,000. You will only get the face value of your loan. There is no credit. There is no refund. That's why it is up to $10,000, up to $25,000. Now, what type of loans are eligible? All federal loans. So Parent Plus loans, grad loans, undergraduate loans, anything that is federal and not a private student loan. This has absolutely nothing to do with private student loans. Now, a key point on Parent Plus loans. This is based on a per borrower forgiveness. So even though you as a parent paid for college expenses for your child by taking out that loan, let's say you will be eligible for that $10,000 because obviously you did not get a Pell Grant for a Parent Plus loan. So you will be eligible for that $10K, up to $10K of forgiveness. And then your child, if they receive the Pell Grant, will be eligible for up to $20K. If they did not receive the Pell Grant, $10K. So that means total for you and your child, it will be a $20,000 to $30,000 forgiveness, which I thought was pretty dope. So when does the application open? Initially, they were saying December. And the reason why they were saying December is because the pause in student loan payments, which was supposed to expire in August, has been extended to December. So no one who has federal student loans will be making any type of payments until January of 2023. And so now the application has been updated to October, and they are saying when the application comes out, they want everybody to try to have their applications completed by November 15th. That allows them to process it before the December 31st pause expires. But even with November 15th, it doesn't really work out. Let me tell you why. Let's say you complete the application on November 15th. It takes 4 to 6 weeks for the forgiveness to be applied to your student loan balance, right? So 4 weeks, November 15th, 2 more weeks after that, November 31st, we got the holidays. So more than likely in January is when a lot of people are going to start seeing that reduction if they're eligible on their student loan balance, or they're going to see it completely paid off if they, if it covers your entire balance, which will be dope. So it's more than likely going to be January. So I'm saying this because I don't want you to not pay on your student loans expecting the forgiveness. The forgiveness lags a little bit, and then you're now behind and hit with some fees unnecessarily. So just make sure that you are on some type of plan, forbearance, what's the other one called? Economic hardship, income-based plan, whatever, so that if there is a lag in the forgiveness, you won't get got. Okay. That's the main thing. Now, some of us who already have completed the income-based repayment plan or any income contingent repayment plan, the Department of Education already has your income. So if you've done it more recently, meaning for this repayment period, what's this, 2022, 2023? Maybe it's 2021, 2022. Yeah, because we haven't renewed for 2023. Okay, so if you've done it this year, then they already have your tax information from 2021. That's about 8 million borrowers. Then you're good. You're not going to have to sign up for the forgiveness plan. They already have your information. You'll get correspondence stating if you are eligible or not. So make sure you are opening up your emails in your mail. Again, forgiveness will take 4 to 6 weeks. Many of you asked me that. And another thing, which I thought was pretty cool, is what if you made payments during the pandemic when the payments were paused? You can actually ask your loan servicer for a refund of any payments that you made during that time, because the forgiveness is going to be applied to your account and that can be put on there. Now, if you got the forgiveness, is not going to pay off your loan, and you want that money to be applied for the rest of your loans, then leave it be. Okay, this will be more beneficial for those who owe, I don't know, $9,000 to get a $10,000 forgiveness. All of the $9,000 is going to be applied. $1,000 goes back to the Department of Ed to kind of put in the pot. And then they made payments, they want their money back, right? So that's more applicable to people in that situation. Now, one more question was, why isn't the whole thing being forgiven? And we talked about this quite a bit on the email list latter part of last year. And so there are investors who buy student loan backed securities, and that is literally what funds the entire lending system of student loans. And so if they were to forgive $50,000 or all of it, the government would not only lose the money and interest from people who are actively paying their student loans, because most of our payments are going towards the interest and not the principal balance, okay? But they will also have to pay the investors as well. And that's like millions and millions of dollars. So you're losing like millions of dollars, actually billions. It's about $60 billion a year in interest the government earns from those who are making their student loan payments. And then they would have to pay investors about $28 billion or more if they did, 50, all of it. Okay, that's not even calculating all of it. So that is a lot of money. So that's one of the reasons why it was kept at that $10,000 platform, because it was something that was probably more digestible for them. At least that's my thinking, right? And so another thing that I wanted to bring up, because many of you did, why wasn't it forgiven? And then on the other side, I had those of you who were like, well, I paid off on my student loans. Why are you guys getting the bailout? That's not fair. So let me put things into perspective. Most people, at least who are prosperity partners, I would say probably 70+% of our community have been paying on their student loans for like 20 years or more. And they have paid back the amount that they have originally borrowed. It is the interest that we have been paying, those of us who have been paying student loans, right? So even though I don't qualify for the forgiveness, I know looking at this that I had to throw money and throw extra money outside of the original payment to bring it from 6 figures down to now low 5 figures. Imagine some of my partners who haven't been able to do that, who've simply been paying on the 10-year standard repayment plan and seeing all of their payments go predominantly towards interest. And then when they look at the total balance that they have left, it is either more or at the same amount that they originally took out. Talk about predatory lending. So you're really not bailing out other Americans. You are bailing out the government. That's it. You are supporting their predatory lending by taking care of some of the principal balance that would have been paid off if this interest wouldn't have been compounding day after day after day after day after day on these student loans that's supposed to be viewed. Remember, they teach us this, student loans isn't really a debt. It's really like an asset, because the degree that you have is going to increase your income, make you more desirable. How many have found that as a lie? So really, that's who you are assisting. And so if you want to be upset and make sidewise comment, I think that you should apply it to your government. Okay. Now, I think I got all of your questions. The only thing that I'm going to do in another video is answer how the student loan forgiveness will impact our credit. So I'll do that on a totally separate video. I did, again, leave the link to our email community. And I think I got all of your questions. If not, definitely drop them down in the comments and I will holler at you there. Talk to you soon.